Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the RRAR interview series. My name is Kevin Scorsone, the Government Affairs Director here at RRAR. Joining me today is Ashley Strickland, Town Commissioner in Angier. Ashley, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have the conversation.
Yeah, same here. So I guess we'll get started. The cool thing about this conversation is that you are also a realtor. And so I know that'll be interesting to a lot of our members watching this. So how did you get into the real estate business, and why you value North Carolina as a place to grow your career as opposed to other places you could have went?
Okay. So I got into real estate. I was told probably a decade ago that I should be in real estate. But I'm one that has to figure things out on my own. I spent a lot of time raising my children. We were prime military. And so I worked from home a lot, virtually doing things. And then I knew I wanted to have the potential for unlimited income, but also on my terms, because I need to be selfish with my time as a mom. And I don't really fit the mold of a 9 to 5 punching a time clock. I love the freedom that being a realtor gives me. And I absolutely love serving people, which reflects in being a commissioner.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. So you did mention quickly there being a military family and super impactful. And I for one, I know a lot of people listening are thankful for that service. Can you talk about that experience a little bit and how it shaped your family and how it developed into helping others in your community?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 children. Cash is 11 and Cage is 9. And the house that we currently live in now is Cash, his 10th home. So he's 11 and this is his 10th home.
Wow.
And in the military, of course, we were renting because we were moving around and stuff a lot. I never allowed myself to truly get plugged into the communities that we were in because I knew we were just going to have to pick up and leave. We came back to North Carolina. My husband medically retired from the military. We came back home, which is North Carolina. I got my real estate license here. We put roots down here, and then getting involved in the community has been something that honestly we've never felt as a military family. And it kind of feels like you can say we're home, but then there's just a whole nother level of being like we're home when you know that like this is it.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. So I want to talk a little bit about that transition into politics and to becoming an elected official. We've talked before, and I've heard you mention that you weren't necessarily considering becoming an elected official or even running for public office. So what shifted your mindset? And I guess we'll start there. What shifted your mindset? And then I have a couple follow-up questions. But,
Sure.
how long did that take, and like what was that shift like?
Yeah, we have been in Angier. This past January makes 3 years that we have been here. The first 2 years, our kids were involved in sports. We were getting plugged in because I'm a realtor. I was getting to know the community and stuff. But the end of last year, towards the end of last year, middle, I decided to speak at a town meeting, and it was my first time ever going, and I was super nervous and my voice was shaking, and I took my kids with me, and I just saw that they were proud of me. I saw that they were in agreement with the things that I was standing for. And it got my wheels turning about how we are here in Angier. We're going through major growth, and we have the last several years. Lots of people are moving to the area, and a lot of those people, even though we might not be native to Angier, we have a lot of value to bring to the community. And so I kind of wanted to take a step forward and lead the way in that.
Yeah, that's great. What I'll say too, and this is a compliment to you, I've been around a lot of politicians in my career. Started my career at the New York State legislature, so I've seen a lot of politicians. What I get from talking to you is that you're very genuine and honest with how you feel and the things you're passionate about. So my follow-up question is, was there always something inside of you that wanted to get into public service, and maybe you just didn't feel like you could or didn't feel confident enough to do that? Because I do feel like you have a real passion for it. So I'm interested to know why you didn't think you'd get into public service before actually getting into it.
I think I've never been a super political person. I certainly um, have my own morals, my ideas, things that I think, are good, but it can be a scary place.
Yeah.
um, and being paramilitary and stuff, it was never my thing. But the more invested I got into my town and I saw the needs and stuff that were there, the more willing I was. And I think that some of that just comes from my heart to serve naturally. My husband and I, at one point, we had a nonprofit that served the unhoused communities. And my husband has a servant heart being in the military. I have had a lot of chronic illness that I have tried to use for good to help other people. So I think that that's just kind of in our blood is we love people. So for me, it's not so much about the politics as it is the people. And this is just another kind of way that I can help, I feel like.
Yeah, that's great to hear. No, I think we need more of that for sure. So that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about Angier. What are some of the things that you love about Angier and that you don't want to see changed? But the flip side of that coin is, what are some initiatives that need to take place to grow Angier so it can stay up with the fast-paced shift and growth that is Wake and Harnett County right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I think pretty much anyone who lives here in Angier would say is a strength is that we do have a vibrant downtown. It's continuing to grow. It maintains that small town charm that a lot of people who are looking to live in a smaller town want. Having the main street and all of the shops and stuff that are small businesses is important to Angier. However, we do want a vibrant economic, you know, town. And so we have had tons and tons of residential because we have to provide housing and we have a ton of people moving here. But we also would like to see more economic, commercial type things come in because we want people to be able to spend their money here in Angier as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Follow up to that, is there something, I mean, you might have just touched on it a little bit, but during your time in office, is there one thing you want to focus on that will make a lasting impact in Angier, or maybe even not so much down the line, but just something you're really focused on right now that you're trying to get accomplished?
Sure. A lot of the concerns and the struggles that we have currently are our infrastructure. And while that is 100% a need and a requirement, if it was something that I had to choose that I'm passionate about in this season of our lives as a family, we're currently working on a second park, a
Mhm.
10-acre second park here. And last night we held a community forum and all of the department heads were able to set up and kind of share what projects are going on and what the vision is. And I think that that really inspired a lot of the residents that turned out because they got to see the layout of that, and it will have the nature trail, walking trails that everyone's been asking for, a nature playground, a splash pad. And it will also help with issues that we currently face with our current park just being overcrowded and parking becomes a safety issue. That is what I showed up to at the town meeting to make public comment before I ever decided to run.
Mhm.
And so that is one of the things that I'm really passionate about.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I have a young son right now who's just starting to really enjoy going to the park and being outdoors. So if you're a parent, you totally get how important that is
Yeah.
for the community to have. So that's great. Um, this year obviously has a heavy focus on politics, I think, with obviously the presidential election coming up. But I think we continue to see a lot of differing opinions and a lot of divisiveness within politics. So on the local level, what's your message to Angier, to Harnett County about just working together to try to get things accomplished and having that primary focus be the quality of life for the citizens that you represent?
Yeah. Um, Between parties, I think, especially in a town like Angier, it's important to keep in mind that um, most of the people in Washington might not even know where Angier is. The people who live here or who make up this community, and no matter what party you may stand with, ultimately, I think the heart of everyone is kind of the same. We all want, safe parks. We all want great school systems. We want our kids, everything that we're doing now, while we will see some fruit of that labor initially, it's about like the future generations. And I'm just one that I'm all about collaboration. I'm not about competition. I hate the divisiveness. That was also part of my campaign, is just bringing the town together as one. I believe there are strengths in numbers, and where there is division, there's distraction, and we
Yeah,
need to be focused on what needs to get done.
sure thing. My final question for you, obviously you have a unique perspective, being involved in, real estate. But what is the value you see in working with organizations like RRAR to get things accomplished, at the local level, and any message you want to send to our membership about the work being done in Angier?
Yeah, I think sometimes people maybe are just scared of what they don't know. And that's why the collaboration and just starting a conversation with really any organization that can provide knowledge, value, that we're not too good to say that we don't know. But we don't want to be too good to ask for help either. And so just personally meeting with you prior, we have requested certain information that we would find valuable in how we maybe are going to make decisions in zoning, in what we want to see and allow developers to come in and do. And you guys are able to, it's kind of like not delegating the work, but if someone else has an expertise in this area, why not collaborate with them and use their knowledge, and kind of let them help. So I 100% see the value in it. I think it's important that we are open to any and all conversations.
Well, Ashley, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate the work you're doing in Angier. I think you're doing a great job, and I know our membership is going to love to hear from you. So again, I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.